Chapter 11, Darren. This is sort of crossing over between rough layouts and design. The general update is I finally reached 3,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. It's taken quite a bit of work to get here, but things are moving forward. Next week, I'll be able to upload my Parasiter and Cigarettes film on my YouTube channel, so I'm pretty excited about that. What else is going on? I released a tutorial on Gumroad just over a week ago. I'm kind of using this to sort of finance this film, so altogether I've made $1,500 off that tutorial on Gumroad. Additionally, I've made another $647 because I also uploaded it to my Payload site. Everything comes into PayPal here. I haven't uploaded it to my webpage yet, but when I do, that'll be available there as well. Let's look at how much money I've made so far. The conversion rate on $1,530 US is about 1940 Canadian, plus the $647 that I made on the PayPal site for a combined total of just over $2,500 Canadian. So that's pretty good. You know, to think of it like a car. You know, I topped up the gas tank a little bit, and it's going to keep me going for a bit longer. And that sort of comes back down to my original idea of taking nothing and turning it into something. Now let's talk about the actual production pipeline here and see where I'm at. So the script, the script has been done for a while. And then I did the thumbnails. And then I put together the edit in Premiere. Then more recently, I've been working on the designs and the rough layouts. And that's kind of trickled into the layouts just a little bit. As far as the designs go, I've been crossing over between the designs and the layouts with this first character is Peter. So this is kind of the latest model sheet for Peter. It'll probably continue to, not change, but I'll add on to it as I'm dropping it into more layouts. Now, this episode is focusing on this Darren character. And I'll tell you what, nothing gives me more satisfaction than calling this character Darren. Makes me laugh every time I think about it. So, again, this crosses over between design and the rough layouts. I kind of bounce back and forth between those two things. So now let's get into the rough layouts. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm taking the poses from the model sheet and I'm dropping them into the layouts over my thumbnails. So this is just a simple matter of copy and paste. I use this mask tool to fine-tune my selections and just drop it in there, see what it looks like. And I can go back into my Peter model sheet and drop those poses into the rough layouts here. All right, now basically I'm just cleaning up the background plate there, removing the rough characters off of it, and then repairing the crowd drawing behind it. All right, I'm always staring at the wall, so I put an indication for a wall in there. Angle him, Darren, so he's sort of at the same perspective as the room behind him. And that's basically it. Now let's move on to the next layout here. The next layout, I start off with the pose from the previous scene. And now I'm going to reposition his head. So he kind of looks like he's examining the wall. So let's, separate the head out, put it on a bit of an angle, and then it is, I always like to adjust the warp perspective a little bit. Select the hair and flatten it out on the side of his face. And then I got another little piece of hair from somewhere that I'll copy and paste in there and have it dangling from the other side of his head. Do a little floppy action. Do some fixing. This is all just about tweaking here. And, filling in the little bits of missing information on the drawing. Okay, so let's just have a quick, let's just see where we're at with these layouts here. Okay, now I had this image of Darren. I thought, this bit of reference, I thought that would be a better hair reference for Darren there. So I'm just going to basically draw over my drawing. You can see the underdrawing there. And, do some tweaks. Yeah, I mean, what can you say about Darren? He's got a tight upper lip, doesn't he? And he's a very pronounced hook nose and big. He's got really, really big eyebrows, almost Groucho Marx kind of eyebrows. Yeah. Okay, now let's do another quick little run through the layouts that we have so far. Peter approaches Darren. Darren's staring at the wall. And here's the next storyboard frame that we're going to go over here. Again, I'm going to go to the model sheet and select a head. Paste it in there. And then and he's kind of looking back over his shoulders, so I need to draw a new body in there. You know me, I always need to flop it and get an objective point of view. And flop it. And, okay, now this is Darren from behind. Let's just go back and hit some of the details here with Peter's shirt and hit some of the rendering and, last little tweaky bits on this rough layout, and that's done. Okay, so the next layout, Peter's looking back at his two girlfriends there. So again, copy and paste the 3/4 back angle from the model sheet. It's probably going to need a few scene-specific little modifications here and there. And now, I haven't really designed these characters. I just thought I'd sort of take a crack at it and kind of see what I came up with here. So let's just call this Joe, Beth, and Randy. So this is Randy here with the bangs. Yeah. To be honest, I'm a little embarrassed to kind of show you my methodology because it's not the prettiest kind of process to watch it, the sausage making behind it all. But all I can say is, I don't really give up on these drawings. I just keep working them. I flop them and I warp them and I keep working it. And as long as I've got something there to work with, I kind of feel like I, can keep pushing it forward. Okay, so this is what this layout looks like now that it's done. Moving along here, Darren is looking at the wall and going to that dark place. So just needed to tilt his head down first before I start working in the dramatic lighting. Now, don't ask me where this dramatic lighting comes from. The light source is not really important. It's just to sort of create this kind of, this dramatic moment here. Okay, so Darren marches out of the house, revealing Peter and the two girls behind him. So I copied and pasted this image of Darren turning, and it was necessary to do a little tweak. Again, I took the two girls as a starting point, and I wanted them to be looking at Peter, but I kind of wanted to use this drawing as a foundation to keep them more or less on model. So their attention is still going to be on Peter. All right, now I got to fill in all the rest of his body here. I kind of like the way jeans, I think they should wrinkle in a certain way. I definitely don't think the back pockets should be riding above the ass cheek on men's jeans. They should be like, sitting a little further down. That's just a personal taste. And, jean wrinkles are something that require a bit of attention. Okay, now coming back to the two ladies here, a little bit more detail. Working those poses a little bit more. I mean, I'll probably come back to these girls and do another little redesign, but I just needed something to put in there. Okay, now Peter, he puts on his jacket and goes chasing after Darren. So this was another pose that I lifted off the model sheet. And, again, everything requires a little bit of tweaking once you get into this layout document. And he was chasing after Darren. Okay, and now they're outside and underneath the street light. So, basically top lighting. And they're quite small too, so there's no need to put too much detail in there. Just want to get a bit of that rim light, and then fill in some of the lighting details. And basically, I kind of just went in on the internet and grabbed some rain and dropped it in there. Obviously, that's just a place card for something later. Okay, now the next scene here, you cut in a little closer on these two guys. Again, same kind of lighting. And once you put the lighting in there and the rain, it starts to put everything kind of in the right atmosphere there. Okay, now this was a tough one. I had to take that Darren model that I had and really kind of modify it so it looked like he was looking up. So this is one of the trickier ones. Also had to put a mouth position in there. Once I have this looking more or less correct, then I can go in and do the lighting afterwards. Another thing here is I didn't record myself doing the dramatic lighting, but I'll run through all the layouts right now, and I'll sort of show you how everything looks here. Boom. Okay, now let's take another little run through the rough layouts here, now that I've kind of organized everything. So at the top of the sequence, we have Darren going through the crowd, and he says, "Oh shit, where the hell is Darren?" And we changed screen direction here. I'm not really worried about screen direction. I'm not a real stickler for that kind of thing, but he locates Darren at some time later looking at a wall, and he says, "Hey, Darren." Oh, no, it's more like, "Hey, Darren, how's it going, man? Are you okay?" And in this scene, I could kind of imagine his head tilting over and his hand lifting up, reaching towards the wall. We cut, and he puts his hand on the wall, and he says, "Yeah, I'm just looking at this wall. It's so flat. You should try it." And we punch in on a little close-up on Peter, and he thinks to himself, "Try what? It's just a fucking wall." And then he looks back, a head rotation, and he goes, "Darren, we're at a party. You should get more involved." And we cut over his shoulder on Randy and Joe Beth there. They give him a little sexy wave. Now, this is something I discovered is, in my thumbnail storyboard, I had him sort of stumble over in the same scene. And I'll tell you this right now, that's going to take about a week or longer to animate that. So I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I might cut back to this scene, maybe a closer shot, and have him just kind of walk towards camera and then cut to this shot, hook up to this shot of just him taking the last step. And I tell you right now, that's going to save me like a week's worth of work doing that. So then, the camera, it'll either cut out or pull out to include this dramatically lit shot of Darren looking at the wall. And he goes, I got to go outside. And he walks forward and he reveals the threesome there. And again, he turns. There's a lot of head turning for this Peter character, but he turns and goes outside. And he pulls his coat on and goes running after Darren. Later on, the two of them are outside underneath the street light, and they're getting rained on, and they couldn't be more miserable. And cut in a little closer, and Peter says, Darren, are you ready to go back in? Cut in again, and Darren is with wild eyes is looking up, and he says, I need to run. And he runs off in a sprint. And Peter turns and he says, run? For God's sake, Darren, the party's that way. And he should probably point back towards the party. And again, another over-the-shoulder shot as Darren goes sprinting off into the darkness. And Peter looks back towards the party. This is the party from his point of view. I mean, I'm not focusing on backgrounds or crowds right now. I'm just focusing on the two main characters in these layouts. So I kept this fairly rough for now. And we cut back to Darren. And then we cut back to Peter. And then he'll go chasing off after Darren. So those are all the layouts that I have so far in this last sequence. So just on a final note here, just regarding that tutorial, if you're interested in buying it, basically what it is it's taking 1/3 drawing, and I kind of run it through my design methodology to work out a complete rotation with the character. And it's probably my most comprehensive tutorial to date. It's available here on Gumroad. My handle's Robert Valley, and it's also available here on Payloads. So enough of the soft sell. I'll see you guys in the next episode.